everybody, and welcome to another episode of Ticket Stubs and Popcorn, where we take an actor and what we talk about them and what we think of stuff that they've done. So,
We sure do.
We do. I am Frank.
And I'm Peter.
And he's Peter. And today we're going to be talking about Matt Damon. Yes,
Matt Damon.
That Matt Damon.
It's about time he came up in that bucket.
About time, yeah. He was,
He was
in a
hiding.
bucket,
He was hiding
and
in
now
there.
he's out of the bucket. So, hey, before we talk about Matt Damon, I'm just going to steamroll. I'm just going to take over the whole show. I'm just going to not talk. Hey, speaking of Matt Damon.
No more coffee.
So, I got a question. I know, right?
Boy. Yikes.
Coffee's so good for me. Bad for everyone in the presence of me, but I love it. It's so good when it hits your lips. So, hey, Batman. Is Batman...
Hey, so Batman. Yeah, that's how I start.
I should have been wearing my Batman
question.
shirt. So is Batman, and I've heard this debate many times, but it'd be fun for us to do it as well. Is Batman good for Gotham City or not good for Gotham City?
Wow.
So we'll talk about
I wasn't sure where you were going.
We will
Okay.
talk about the civic responsibility that Batman has and whether that's good for the city. So,
alrighty.
all right.
Yeah.
So let's. Why don't you, since I have not shut up in the last 2.5 minutes, why don't
I figured at some point you'd have to either run out of gas or go to the bathroom, one or the other, because that caffeine's
comes right through you. So tell me about your 3 favorite Matt Damon roles.
I almost always enjoy a Matt Damon movie. You know, he started young. He was young. And he was writing and did some very good things.
Much like Matt Damon, I was born at a very young age.
Yeah, I was also born very close to my mother too.
Right. Yeah. No, me too. I don't know why your mother was there, but
yeah, exactly. Why was my mother close? Made no sense. Matt Damon has been around. He's still a relatively young actor, but he's been doing this for a while.
Yeah.
And I'm going to start with a movie that, for whatever reason, this is me, perhaps all by himself, all alone with this thought. I didn't know how it would work out, but after I saw it, I really enjoyed his portrayal, and I had no doubts anymore. When he did Bourne Identity as the character of Jason Bourne, that series, I didn't know if he could be that kind of an action hero.
yeah.
So going into it, like I said, I just didn't know. I'm not saying I had my doubts. It's kind of like, you had to show me. You had to prove to me that, because let's face it, these movies have a lot of money behind it.
Yeah.
And you want this, if it's going to be an action movie, you want the best portrayal out there. He made that so believable.
Yeah, he did a good job.
I love, sometimes the movies themselves, because there's a few of them within the franchise, sometimes the movies might be a little uneven, sometimes even the supporting cast might not be, but he always does a great job. He does make it believable, and that's what you go into the movie for.
Yeah.
And so I was pleasantly surprised as Jason Bourne throughout the franchise. I really just, he can do all of those things that you need an action star to be. Not just deliver lines, but there's a physicality there. Whether you're on the receiving end of punishment or the doling out of it, he does both well, and it makes it believable. He's not like a Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He's not an Arnold Schwarzenegger where you say, "Oh, he's a big man, imposing figure." No, he's average built. Yeah. I mean, he's in better shape maybe than average people, but average size, but quick on his feet, and the way he's portrayed in the movie, and the way he plays it, he thinks well on his feet and adapts very well. And I really enjoy. So one of my picks I'm going to pick that Jason
The
Bourne
Bourne
character
franchise,
as my pick, even though it incorporates whatever 5 movies or 4 movies, whatever it is.
Well, there's like I think the first 3, and then there was like where they brought in Jeremy Renner as almost like the Bourne name was almost like a 007. They just sort of bring in Jeremy. I didn't know what the hell they were doing with Jeremy Renner.
But then
he's a different. He's not Jason Bourne. He's
No.
just another dude within that situation. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
I like I said, I love the Matt Damon's portrayal of Jason Bourne. So that's one of my 3 picks. Other one, a second pick for me is another one. Like I said, he's been with us a long time. We've seen him do stuff. We have faith in him as an actor. And I have to say, I was, even after many years of seeing him, I was so impressed with Ford versus Ferrari.
Oh yeah, he's fun in that. He's good.
He really you lose track or lose sight of the fact that that's
It's funny you use the word track.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We lose.
Go ahead, say the word again. Just say the word track. It's there. You can't avoid it.
Of that the actor is Matt Damon. We lose that fact. He is not Matt Damon. He's Carroll Shelby. He's this hard-nosed Texan, and it's this understated accent. He's definitely Texan, but it's not like you definitely buy the accent. You buy his portrayal. You buy everything about him. He was a driver, but a heart condition has led him so he doesn't actively race anymore. So now he's more into automobile design, and that's where that's the main part of his character. And then Christian Bale is on the other side as the driver.
He's Batman.
Ken Miles. And so he seems to we have the Gotham City question or the Batman question. He seems to team up with different portrayers of Batman, like George Clooney, Ben Affleck. And,
oh my God, that's really funny.
And, Christian Bale. Now I'm starting to wonder, was he in anything with Michael Keaton or anybody?
I don't know, but that would be
Adam
really
West.
funny.
Was he in anything? Who knows? So as Carroll Shelby, he's a very intelligent guy, and he is very driven. No pun intended again. He's hard nosed, and he's good at baiting people in the movie. He
sort
needs,
of steering them in the direction where he wants them to go.
He needs to get things done for the Ford Corporation, but he doesn't have complete reign sometimes. They're trying to hem him in, and they want to get their own way, and he wants to get his own way, and the only way he sees this as being possible is that they would get off his back and just let him do his thing. And part of that would be to get Henry Ford II to just believe him, do things, get me a thing. And that's maybe not the personality of some of these powers to be.
Henry Ford II, not as good as the original. The sequel, it's never as good as the original.
So he's able to like convince them in their own, like he baits them. He's able to get his way finally by playing to, certain they like their ego and this and that one. But he does the same thing with the Christian Bale character, but in a little different way.
Because he has to sort of shift gears when he's with them,
right?
Man,
stop. Your like mind is just racing coming up with these things.
Racing!
Like
I got that one.
So he needs to get the Christian Bale character, the Ken Miles, I think, which is funny, Miles, and he's logging the time at Le Mans there. So he needs to get him on board. Now, on the other side, even though some of the people at Ford might not want him to be their driver, and same thing, he's got to kind of, he doesn't browbeat, although there is a couple of times where they do come to the blows, but he needs to convince him. He needs to get it to make him think it's your idea that you want to be my driver. You know what I mean? One of those sort of, and so he works. He's working both sides, and you never think, oh, this is Matt Damon speaking with an accent, wearing a cowboy hat occasionally, trying to get us to believe that this is some car racing movie. And I'll be honest, right off the top, I'll say I am not a big fan of auto racing. I'm not that kind of a guy. I'm not a gearhead, but you really get interested in this movie.
Yeah,
and you follow the story because you're invested now, and it's because of Christian Bale's portrayal, but it's because of Matt Damon's portrayal as well of Carol Shelby. And even though I've had many years of watching Matt Damon, he still impressed me a lot. Thinking, wow, he's even better actor than I really remember him sometimes to be. And excellent. So I love that performance. My third one is a movie that I know you don't really care for. But I got to tell you, he is just such a nice person. And he just loves his job, and he loves his life, and he loves his brother, and Stuck on You.
Oh, fuck that movie.
No, I really like this movie. I think it's funny. I more than like this movie. I love this movie. It's funny, but it's the relationship, this love affair, if you will, between the two brothers. Each one would do anything to help the other, and he is the shy one. He is completely out of his comfort level. He doesn't want to go to Hollywood. He doesn't, but he will do things to help his brother. And now it's his brother's big request is to let's leave the hamburger joint that we've been working at. Because that's basically all Bob, that's the Matt Damon character. Bob only wants to he likes the way it is. He likes, people know him, he works every day, he's good at what he does, and that's enough for him. And he's really taken out of his comfort level, especially when it comes to meeting. He has a pen pal that's about as close to a woman as he wants to get. He's just not comfortable. And I gotta tell you, I love seeing this movie, but I love seeing this performance of Matt Damon because it's funny, it's comedy, but there is a heart there that just makes me feel, we don't give him enough credit. He can really play anything you put in front of him, and he's been in some just wonderful, great movies. And because it's limited to 3, you're going to have 3. We may not have overlapped at all.
We don't overlap at all.
And I can guarantee you, so there'll be 6 picks, and I can guarantee you we could probably come up with 5 others that would say, well, these are all good. So those are mine.
He's one of those actors, and he's one of those rare actors, I think, that can do comedy and drama and action. You don't see...
Actually, those
comedy,
my 3 picks cover it
exactly.
all. Yeah.
He can do comedy, he can do action, and he can do drama. And you don't get a lot. I mean, like, Meryl Streep can do all 3.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Cruise can do all 3. Say what you will about Tom Cruise. Dude's a little crazy, but he can do action. He's been funny, and he can do, the drama stuff.
I think a younger Tom Hanks could have done a little bit of not that kind of action hero, but a lot of action in his movies. But not the way hero.
No, I wouldn't call Tom Hanks the closest thing to an action
George
movie.
Clooney, a little younger, could have done a little more action if he wanted.
Yeah, Clooney could. He did a little bit action, but it didn't really work. Closest thing to an action movie Tom Hanks has ever been in is Larry Crumb.
Let's not go to that movie.
Zooming around.
I did not like that movie.
No, it was not great. So Matt Damon, my first one. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go The Martian.
Yeah.
Which I absolutely love that movie.
I know you do. Yeah.
It's a great movie. It's got a great message. It's got everything you want to it. It's got heart. It's got drama. It's got action. It celebrates smart people, and it's such a great movie. And he's so great in it. And he's in this movie by himself.
Right.
90% of the movie.
Right.
So, and yeah, there's some voiceover stuff that he does, which some argue is kind of like weak writing or whatever. But it's very little, and it's it's like some of the messages that he does, like on a video or whatever. They're kind of when he's explaining some of what he's doing. But overall, he's just gonna science the shit out of this, and it's great. And what I love about it is that it doesn't fall into like action hero tropes or stuff like that. It really does emphasize a lot of like the science, to the point where I can't tell you how many times as you read like user comments and stuff like that, you go on IMDb and you read like user reviews.
Okay.
And I have seen when it's just like, when did this happen? It's just because it comes off like a real thing. It's just like, no, sweetie, it wasn't a real. Yeah. Oh. When did this happen? Is he still alive? Like,
are we feeding him somehow?
Right. Yeah. Exactly. like when did this happen? It's just like, no, sweetie, it didn't really happen. It's not a true story, but it has the integrity of a real story. And one of my favorite parts about it is at the end when he's talking to students, about, hey, you know what? Sometimes, regardless of the plan, something's going to go wrong, and you're faced with, you either need to get out of this or you're going to die.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you just do the math. You just begin. And it's just one of those things that it's just like, you know what? Yeah, you've got insurmountable problems, but you break them down. You just solve one problem, then you solve the next problem. Then you solve the next problem. Yeah. And the next thing you know, you solve enough problems, you get to go home. And it is one of the best messages in a movie ever. And and he's like the right guy to in that role. I thought it was absolutely perfect. So and it balances. It really straddles the line between being funny, because there are funny moments in it, and
stuff.
Being I wouldn't call it an action movie. It's not a funny movie. It's not a drama. It's just a really well told story that has all those elements perfectly balanced in it. It's a great movie, and he's fantastic in it. Yeah. My next favorite, I guess, would be Dogma. When he plays one of the angels, and he's done great stuff with Kevin Smith, and he's absolutely hilarious in this. And again, there's an example of him able to to be funny, and sure, at one point he kind of loses his mind a little bit, but he's it's just really, really funny. And I think I've at some point, when we talked about Kevin Smith as a director, I think I mentioned the scene where Matt Damon is talking to a nun about God and all that, and he's really, really funny in this, and I like to see his comic chops. You also see how funny he is, sort of like out in the world, his interactions with Jimmy Kimmel,
exactly where they're playing,
where they're playing
their frenemy.
Yeah, exactly, and he's there was a video he did a million years ago with Sarah Silverman that she's fooling around with Matt Damon while she was dating Kimmel. It's just really he's got great comic timing, and he's really good with that. So the next thing I would do would be The Informant.
Very good.
Where he plays, he plays like a corporate whistleblower dealing with the FBI, and he's just so.
And you could tell he was serious because he wore glasses.
Exactly. So, and again, it's another one of those movies where he plays it totally straight.
Yes,
and
he does.
He just plays it straight, and it's just like, seriously. But he's great in that. He put on a little weight for it. He looks like just
he had to look like a bookish
just a Midwestern, average Joe kind of guy who needs a little excitement in his life, and he just sort of makes himself seem more important than he is. And he kills it in that. I love him in that. It's one of those sort of like one of those movies where you go, oh yeah, that's a good Matt Damon movie. So
he's
you
got
know,
a lot of good.
exactly.
A lot of good.
Talented Mr. Ripley.
I was gonna say
all the
it was
Ocean's
difficult.
movies.
All of the like he's got good.
Such a good
He's got good
balance.
friends, so he gets into the Kevin Smith
Yeah.
group. He
I don't
gets into
think
the
he's
George
done-
Clooney group.
I don't think he's done like a romantic comedy type deal, has he? I don't think he's ever. I mean, the closest I think I could say is in a romance would be the talented Mr. Ripley.
I'm trying to think that you. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't. So,
Yeah.
but no, he's great. He's one of my favorites. Very reliable.
He is very reliable. That's just it. You. That's a perfect word for him. He's reliable, but not like in the mundane kind of. Oh, he's reliable.
Yeah,
no, he's reliable.
But that's
like
funny.
Bring it home all the time.
That Batman connection is really interesting.
Yeah, isn't that weird? I just thought of that when
Christian
I thought
Bale
of
and
Christian
Affleck.
Bale.
That's really funny.
Because you said something about Batman, and then all of a sudden I was like, oh, we got the
Yeah,
Gotham question,
that's really
and then all of a
funny.
sudden I was like, wait a minute, he's been with some of these people.
That's great. All right, speaking of Batman, what do you think? Is Batman good or bad for Gotham City?
Okay. My connection with Batman goes way back when I was a little boy. So from the TV to now, and I got to be honest, I like this character in general, not like a specific portrayal.
In general.
Now, in general, I like this character. I don't know. I would say no. He's not that good for Gotham.
I agree. I agree.
I think if he would spend his time and his energy and financial resources as Bruce Wayne, he could do a hell of a lot more help for Gotham than he could as Batman. He just invites trouble. A matter of fact, wait a minute. You know something? Isn't the whole there was a series that. There was a TV series that had the perfect premise. It just didn't do well, didn't last, but that's the premise of it. The show was a DC universe, and it was through Wayne Foundation or Wayne Industries.
Yeah, these people worked. It was a sitcom with Vanessa Hudgens was in it,
exactly,
right? Yeah,
called Powerless. And the whole reason is
there's a scene on a train.
That DC universe, and we'll say Gotham City, is under such bombardment. They need protection from the superheroes, and that's the idea. I don't think deep down.
I think
bottom line, I don't think he is such a good idea.
Don't
for
think
Gotham
he is either.
City.
I think that he could do more good as Bruce Wayne.
You got it.
Throwing his money, if at nothing else, than the locks on the doors at Arkham. That Arkham Asylum is
it's a revolving door. They just keep going in and out.
Most incompetent administrators of any facility
That's
ever.
right. Joker.
Seriously.
Well, he was here. He was here. I don't know. He's gone now.
Seriously.
He escaped.
It's just like, I mean, the folks
Like,
at
really?
Chernobyl are just like, look, we've had some problems.
That's right.
But, we're not the worst at this.
Well, that's right.
I mean, I really think that he, as Bruce Wayne, he could do more good. He could throw more money.
If you really think about it, how much good long term is this Batman guy doing?
Because it's all
City?
about crime and stuff. Maybe if there were better systems and programs in place, then you wouldn't have henchmen going to there would be a henchman labor shortage.
He's just inviting trouble, really.
Seriously, I mean, look at all the people in Dark Knight. Look at all the people that Joker had to employ to get his stuff going.
Yeah,
right. In Dark Knight Rises already, all the people that Bane had to get. People needed jobs. So they're like, yeah, sure, we'll dig around and we'll do this stuff. We'll plant bombs and stuff like that. I just think that as a billionaire, and Wayne Enterprises is worth what is it? I think there was some Forbes article. It was like $3 billion or some $33 billion. I don't know, some fictional compilation of rich people. I don't think that Batman is. And that being said, I'm a huge Batman fan. Sure. If he's gonna do it, rock on, man. I'm on your side. But just maybe sit back. Alfred at one point could have been just like,
Yeah, I'm gonna put a little something extra in your cocoa.
Yeah, just maybe, just think about Just think about going to one of those benefits instead of ducking out. You know?
Exactly. So
Spend some
somebody
time-
shines a light, you gotta go. Oh,
Yeah.
come on.
Spend
Really?
some time with people during the day instead of just sleeping. Your only interaction with people is at night with bad guys.
Exactly.
That's not all that's going on in this town.
Get a real hobby. Come on.
Anyway, so we solved that problem.
Yeah.
Let's
problem
see who we're
solved.
talking about next time.
Get a good one. Get a good one.
Adam West. No.
Exactly. I'm gonna have to look now to see other Batmen that Matt Damon has been in movies.
Well, let's think. There's Val
wait, Kilmer. Hang on
was
just a
Batman,
second.
Yeah,
with. Okay.
yeah. So
Very
there was
good.
Val Kilmer. I don't think that Matt Damon's done a Val Kilmer movie. Or Michael Keaton. I don't think he's been in a movie with Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
And it was
Wait
just...
a minute. Was he in something with Val Kilmer that like a scene thingy? Like
a
very
scene
very
thingy?
recent. No, not like in the same scene, but like there's different stuff. So they don't share. Really recent because Val Kilmer hasn't done any. I mean,
Right.
he started up.
But even in like the mid to late 90s when, you know, they're both getting bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know about the Val Kilmer.
I
I
don't
don't
think
think
so.
he's
I don't think
been
that
with
I
Adam
don't-
West.
I don't think, he certainly hasn't done anything with Adam West unless there was some
Or
sort
like
of...
a TV
yeah,
cameo
some weird
thing.
like that, yeah. So, I don't know. Anyway, Mystery for the Ages.
Yeah. Well,
Thanks for
think about
watching
that
the
one.
show. Thanks for listening to the show. Thanks for liking and subscribing. Check out the merch because that's pretty cool and it doesn't shrink much. So I
May
guess
fade
that's
a
it.
little, but
Or whatever. So, but the mugs, no matter how much you wash them, hot water, cold water, they don't shrink. So I've been really, really happy with that. Good vendors on that one. Good job.
very
So
good.
we'll see you next time.
Take care.